I think we are. Yes, I think we're already live. So, hello, good evening everyone. Magandang gabi sa lahat ng nanonood sa atin ngayon. Thank you very much for joining our live stream this Friday. Hindi ko kasi maipangako na magkakaroon tayo ng live stream on Saturday because of certain personal na mga kinakailangan tapusin at gawin. So today, I made a decision to have the live stream today so that it would not preempt yung Binibining Pilipinas natin ng mga content that will be coming out Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so ano yung pag-uusapan natin ngayong gabi? Essentially, what we're going to be talking about are a split of two things. Ano yung mga nalaman natin during the visit of Jasmine Selberg here in Manila, plus some of the things that we've discussed with Sir Stephen Diaz of ICA, and ano yung mga asahan natin na kinakailangan na mga information, I believe, na importante pagdating sa ating sa ating pagpili ng susunod na magiging representative for Miss International. And then also I am going to be tackling the second part of our live stream, yung um, mga ladies that I feel would be the next Binibining Pilipinas queens. And how we structure that is that we're going to make sure na bitakin natin. We're going to split the girls into groups of maybe around six, around six. And then we are going to be talking. No. We're going to be split the ladies into groups of three, of six each, para we cover as much ground in terms of the girls. Kasi I feel that this year, if it is true that it's going to be a top 10 only, and we don't have a top 12 or a top 15, I want to give a shout out. Sorry, I'm having lozenges here. I want to give a shout out to, as much as possible, a lot of the girls that I feel that needs to be given an opportunity to be talked about in terms of the way that they presented themselves in Binibining Pilipinas this year. So we will be talking we will be talking about around 18 girls, or may roughly around 17 to 18 girls. May listahan kasi ako na na 5 lang. So yun ang gagawin natin ngayon. I apologize for having lozenges kasi sa katakawan ko kanina, um, nag ice cream ako, nag gelato ako dun sa Minovotel, and nasarapan ako masyado dun sa nasarapan ako masyado dun sa tawag to, dun sa uh, was it ube with langka na ice cream na gelato. Ang sarap kasi niya, and I was making some edits on mga content that is posted earlier with Arvin Cabachete. So, yun, medyo chikahan kami, and kasama sa chikahan is kain. And I just wanted to make sure that I have enough voice because I think baka marami kayong tanong ngayong live stream natin, and ayokong maubos na ako ng boses. So, mag-hi hello muna tayo sa mga sa mga dumating, sa mga nandito ngayon. Ned Den, Den Ned is here. He is rooting for Albay, number 14. Albay is John Isabel Vilasano. Rodvin Fiel is also here. Hello, good evening. Mike Casabala, welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Sana marami sa inyo mag-subscribe sa ating live stream ngayon. Hayo the Universe. Ganda naman ni Madam SME sa photo. Si Miss Irene Jose na pala ang National Director sa Binibining Pilipinas base sa interview ni Nicole B. Yes, that was mentioned earlier during the press conference. No. Press meet ni Jasmine Selberg that Miss Irene Jose is effectively the National Director for Binibining Pilipinas, and moving forward, the role na ginagampanan ni SMA a lot of those duties and responsibilities is now under Miss Irene. And she was there earlier, and she was very, very accommodating to us na mga na mga press people. Ayan. Mike Zabala, thanks po and excited for this live. This Spiller says, so excited. Zaldi Paulino is here and he says, good evening po sir. Good evening din sa'yo, Zaldi. JD Sarmiento is here, good evening. And I hope na ma-enjoy mo yung live stream natin ngayon. Zaldi Paulino, sabi niya, for me, my Miss International Philippines is Trisha Martinez. And my Miss Globe Philippines is Gianna Llanes. Michael Zabala, question niya, any news if there are new crowns ng Binibining Pilipinas? I don't think so. At this point in time, kapag wala silang i-announce, I think we're stuck with the confirmed na two. I am still hoping na magkaroon ng surprise that we will have a third crown, but hindi ako maasa. Okay? AF Chicago, able to catch live finally. Welcome to the channel. Where AJ ba ay may new crown? Yun na nga, hindi ako sure kung mayroong new crown. Rumors are there is, but I am not putting stock to it because at this point in time they should have announced it already because you only have like 2 days before the finals, and if they haven't announced as of yet, I think wala tayong asahan na bagong crown. Hello the universe. How about Sir Hines Rolpo? He is still the managing the general manager of Binibining Pilipinas, so he takes care of all the daily activities ng mga ng Binibining Pilipinas Shares Incorporated. So he is still very much present and always in the conversation. Hindi siya mawawala sa picture. He is always there, and he's been always friendly, accommodating to press people. So nagkataon lang na he was absent for several Binibining Pilipinas na events because I think he was hit by the COVID-19 na virus. I'm not sure though. I haven't confirmed that with him. So, nasaan na tayo? Remar Abutan. I have this feeling na ang mananalo this year ay dark horse. Dapat ang maging basis ay performance, not kung popular na maraming hindi masyadong kilala pero magaling ang mga pinapakita, like Binibini 16. Wait, sino ba si Binibini 16? Can someone enlighten me who's Binibini 16? I think that is... No, hindi si Angelica Lopez. Si Rima ba ang 16? Tama ba? Pasensya na. Honestly, up until now, I cannot remember the girls' numbers and their sashes. I know them by their names. So, I don't know. This is the first time. This is the first year that hindi ko nakabisado yung mga numbers ng mga girls, essentially because very limited yung oras na na-engage kaming mga media people with them. Unlike in the previous years that we have from February, March, April, May, we had like a long time to get to know more of these candidates. This time around, a lot of their activities were all clumped together at around the month of May. So the probability for us na we can that or on my part, the probability that I would be able to memorize this number is very slim to nil, simply because whenever I see them, mas nagfo-focus ako sa names rather than their numbers. So I'm sorry about that. Nasaan tayo? EF Chicago is asking who is Irene, who is Miss Irene Jose? Is she new to the organization? No, she's been in the organization for I think 10 years, at least 10 years now. So, yun. Um, Cici says, yung Bingo Plus videos ng girls, top 12 ang sabi nila. That's good. If it's a top 12, I am much more relieved. However, ang naririnig ko kasi since yesterday after covering yung arrival ni Jasmine is a top 10. So, ako talaga kinakabahan ako. To be honest, having a top 12 is still for me too narrow of a list. I am still hoping and praying that eventually it's going to be a top 15 or a top 16. But I would take a top 12 any time of day if the alternative is a top 10. So, I won't be choosy if it's a top 12. I'm hoping nga that it will be a top 12 so that it's not too painful of a cut because I really wanted that this year, with the quality of a lot of underrated girls, they would be given a chance to shine on stage, and I do hope that it's going to be a top 15. Um, Hello, okay. Where are we? EJ Belge. Naimbang nga bigat mo, Jason. Hello from Vancouver. Ayan, nabiyag nga gabi kada kayo in Vancouver, the Ilocano community there. Oh no, it's not nabiyag. Naragsak nga gabi kada kayo diyan sa sa Vancouver. I hope that you're tuning in and enjoying our live stream this evening. Pasensya ka na, EJ Belch, because I'm not a very strong Ilocano speaker. I understand the language. I grew up with my neighbors, speaking Ilocano most of the time, but I never really gotten to be to become like a native speaker of the language na dire-diretso magsalita. So, pagpasensyahan niyo na yung yung pagka half Ilocana ko. um, where are we? Hello the universe. The mere fact that they never confirmed na dalawa ang crown means pwedeng meron. Fingers crossed. Let's hope. Hello the universe. Kasi with the girls na nakilala ko for the past several months, these girls, alam mo, parang marami sa kanila sayang kasi a lot of them um, have blossomed in the last several weeks. And it would be like a heartbreak if we're only giving them two crowns. So I am hoping na sana may pangatlo. Um, may angko, bakit hindi po active si Madam Lara Kigaman this year? I am not sure, but maybe come finals sa Binibining Pilipinas, nandun siya. Uh, okay, Margin Bueno. Zaya for Binibining Pilipinas International, Super Barbie Morena siya. Jon Snow, 79. Hi, Jason. Saan ba mapapanood ang finals? Parang walang commercial sa ABS-CBN. Na-miss ko ang mga commercials dati nila regarding finals. A to Z ang alam kong mag-i-air ng kanilang finals. They're not airing anymore in TV5. I think there was a berya last year that because of the delayed na nag-overtime yata ang PBA sa Channel 5. So kinakailangan mag-delay din ang Binibining Pilipinas before they can start their pageant. I think that's the reason why na sobrang haba yung hintay ng mga tao sa Binibining Pilipinas finals airing last year. So I do hope na hindi na siya mangyari this year. And these are just rumors that na nasagap ko, so I cannot verify how true this is kasi mahirap na. Lalo na yung pinanggalingan ng source ko well connected. Lemuel 23.5. May Miss International Philippines is Rima Adaco din. And may Miss Globe is Gianna. My alternates for the crown would be Mirhan for MI and Trisha Martinez or Kiara for Miss Globe. Hello the universe. I hope DPCI learned something this year, lalo na lagi naman sila for sure magsasabay ng MUP or any other pageant. I think I will cover that after the finals, I will have a ultimate comprehensive na review ng Binibining Pilipinas pageant this year. So abangan niyo yan. Um, Margin Buena, for me, Binibining Pilipinas International, si Zea Nestle Pala, and Globe, si Angelica Lopez, Morena naman this year. Line Spread is saying, how hope we could send the likes of Rima of Camsur to MI. Something na bago sa usual na pinapadala natin sa Miss International. Bago Beltran says, last year si Ana Valencia ang bet ko. She was a standout in person nung makita ko siya sa Parade of Beauties. But in TV, she looks matured and big and her styling and pasarela needs improvement. I kind of agree on the pasarela and the presentation part because she still lacks the necessary na technical skill when it comes to presentation. May nag-improve in terms of sa katawan ni Ana this year, but in terms of presentation, she is still being outperformed by a lot of Binibining Pilipinas girls, especially yung mga lesser known na mga candidates. Saan na ba tayo? Hello the universe. Top 12 or top 10 is okay if it's 35 or 30s lang sila like nung 90s. Line Spread says, ano po format ng Binibining Pilipinas this year? That I cannot comment on because I don't have any idea kung ano yung kanilang format this year. Let's hope na by tomorrow, mas marami tayong marinig about the format. I am hoping that it's a top 12. They both go in swimsuit. They both go in evening gown. And then they all go through the question and answer portion at doon pipili ng mga winners. Perhaps this year, because they have a preliminaries, magkakaroon ng immediate cut from the 40 candidates to a top 10 or a top 12. And then yung top 10 and top 12, sila na yung magpe-perform throughout the finals night. I think that is going to be a possibility, a strong possibility for the finals format this year. Bago po tayo magtuloy, sana po leave a like doon sa ating live stream ngayon para mas marami po yung maka-join sa ating discussions for this evening. Let's get back to the comments. Lemon 2035. Well, Sir Jessa, they never even officially confirmed the official lineup of crowns. They didn't even mention MI and Globe announcement hinting at a possible third crown in the roster. At this point in time, it's better to be cautiously optimistic, but I would err on being realistic at this point in time na baka dalawa lang talaga ang titles this year. Okay? Raymar Abutan, Binibini 7 Paranaque, which is Aliyah, and 16 General Trias. Wait lang, 16 General Trias, that's Atasha Rain Parani, right? I hope I'm correct because nasa listahan ko si Atasha. Mamaya ko i-discuss kung bakit at sino pa yung mga kasama niya sa listahan ko. Ned, additional crowns are Miss Tourism and Miss Asia Pacific? Question mark, I don't know. I would rather have like a Binibining Pilipinas Araneta City and have that, much like Francesca Taruk, but who knows? Mukhang malabo. CC, sana pasabog ang stage at lighting this year, pati opening number. Okay, with regards to the opening number, I can say with confidence because kay Sir Kines mismo nanggaling na part ng opening number si Jasmine Selberg. So, abangan niyo yan. I think magkakaroon ng malaking participation si Jasmine Selberg doon sa opening and probably even during the entire finals. So, let's hope na tawag nito na hindi siya paupiin as judge because during our interview, actually during the press meet, nabanggit niya na she wants to watch and experience the Binibining Pilipinas pageant because coming from a European country that is not very much into pageants, she has long been a fan of Binibining Pilipinas as well as the host na si Catriona Gray. So she also mentioned that among the or rather among the Filipina queens that she looks up to and admires. Um, Kasama si Miss Globe Maureen Montaigne and Miss Universe Catriona Gray. So there. Um, Wait a minute. Where are we? Lemuel 23.5. But possible yung narinig mo, top 10 is probably the number of candidates officially selected by the panel, and the two extra slots will be bingo plus fan votes, so that's making a top 12. Ang dinig ko kasi, isang bingo plus lang ang papasok. So, I, I, I really am hoping that this is going to be a top 12 or a top 15. Pero I will take a top 12 over a top 10. EJ Belge, what's the other half, Jason? Tagalog or Ibanag or something else? EJ Belge, I'm actually full Ibanag, but I am partially Ilocano because I just grew up in the Ilocano barangay of our town. So, makasarita na pasito Ilocano, ngamhanak nga diretso nga makasarita. So, there. I am more of an Ibanag because my parents, actually my dad is Ibanag, my mom is from Palanan, which is the Pacific side of Isabela. And it just so happened that my mom never taught us the Paranan language. I can understand bits and pieces of the Paranan language, but I cannot fluently speak it. So, if I hear someone talking in the language, I can probably guess around 70 to 80% of the language, but not really speak it. So, yon. Um, Sir Jason, this is from Michael Zabala. They say the new crown might be mysterism. What do you think of this crown? I don't think, unless there is a collaboration with the Department of Tourism, I don't think that this is possible. But maybe, I don't know. I'm at this point in time kasi I am much more focused on the two crowns that is available. So any third crown is a welcome development for me. So there. Ping, magandang gabi din sa'yo, as well as Edward Medrano. Thank you for watching from Europe. Where are we? Nasaan na ba tayo? Pasensya na. Dalawang screen na tinitignan ko, one on the laptop and one on my phone because yung phone ko yung nagla-live stream. Sabi ni Sisi nasa Canada yata si Lara. Okay. So that maybe explains why she's not visible lately. Lord Lena, sino ang El Tocuyo at Ruth Akumaros awardees ng Binibining Pilipinas? Malalaman natin yan on Sunday kasi sa tingin ko marami yung sa mga girls na malalakas pwedeng malaglag. So let's see. Michael Zabala, Sir Jason, curious question. Nagpapanalo po ba ang Binibining Pilipinas ng candidate kahit na may bad attitude even if quality and deserve for the crown? I cannot say for sure in the past because if you might know, nitong 2018 or rather 2019, sorry. No, 2018 lang ako officially nag-start na mag-cover ng Binibining Pilipinas. So I cannot say for sure kung ano ba talaga. Do they crown girls na sinasabi ngang may attitude? But in my experience, I don't think na yung mga pachichi, pachaa would derail the chances of the girls making semis. However, during the deliberation ng mga corona, doon nila tinitignan yung attitude. Doon nila tinitignan yung character ng mga binibinis. And I think with the interview that I had with Sir Stephen Diaz of the ICA ng Miss International, I have now a better perspective on the Miss International pageant because despite despite everything that we know or we assume to know about Miss International, apparently they have this system of evaluation, an evaluation sheet of the girls. Um, and these evaluation sheets are filled out by chaperones, by people working within the organization, and they provide these evaluation sheets to the judges and to give them a glimpse on will these girls be difficult to manage or difficult to work with. And it's still up to the judge 100% whether or not they ang tawag nito, they take into account in the judging process yung evaluation sheets na yon. So I think that might be something that is aligned with Binibining Pilipinas, that they observe the girls, they get feedback from people surrounding the girls, at doon nila tinitignan kung swak nga yung mga girls doon sa mga titles that they offer. Ayan, Lord Lena, Fresh Saga, top 25 yata. Edi gawin mo ng top 18, tapos mag-top 10 ka kaagad, tapos ibalik mo sa top 18 for the evening gown competition para tapos ang usapan, di ba? Tapos saka ka na mag-announce ng ng winners. Charot. um, where are we? Hello the universe. Why not have a binibini? Why not have the Binibining Pilipinas tourism? They have it in the past na laging PBA ang international pageant. Um, why not? Naisip ko pwede din. And then hanapan na lang katulad ni Parusha na Binibining Pilipinas Tourism in 2014 and then competed in Miss Grand International in 2015. So, who knows? Ayan. So, stop ko muna yung mga comments natin kasi 30 minutos na tayo nagkakamustahan dito and nagbabasa ng comments. So let me just first get on with my list or rather my agenda for this evening. And this is primarily with regards to the arrival of Jasmine Selberg of our reigning Miss International and her participation in Binibining Pilipinas this year. She is accompanied by Sir Stephen Diaz of the ICA, and they will be here for the next couple of days. So Jasmine, when I observed her from her arrival to in the airport in Naiya Terminal 1 until today doon sa press conference or rather press meet with her, is that she has a very regal bearing. She has a very strong na sense of groundedness that when you talk to her, she doesn't feel like she's contrived or she doesn't feel like she's rehearsed. She's very much accessible to a lot of the press people. And yung mga press na kasamahan ko earlier today during her press meet, sinabi nila sa akin that this is a very welcome change because when a previous na reigning na Alpha Queen came here in the Philippines, masyadong protected ng mga gwardya yung si Alpha na Queen. And there was no opportunity to get to know her better, the Alpha Queen better, which is a very much unlike the Binibining Pilipinas treatment of Jasmine Selberg. Both BPCI and ICA, I believe, wanted to make Jasmine more accessible to the masses and to the people, to the fans. So we were really very happy when inopen nila yung floor na okay, linya kayong mga press people, mag-selfie kayo, magpa-picture kayo with Jasmine. And to think that yung book ng Monet Ballroom, yung Grand Ballroom ng Araneta ng Novotel is only for around 2 hours. Naubos namin yung oras na yon sa interviews, sa photograph with Jasmine. And I think this is a welcome development, because the organization wants everyone to have a queen that is accessible to a lot of people, especially with the personality of Jasmine, who is very much easy to talk with, easy to converse with. When I was interviewing her actually for an exclusive interview that I will be releasing a little bit later, perhaps tomorrow evening, super gaan niyang kausap. She doesn't sound rehearsed. She doesn't sound contrived or pushing an agenda. She just is. She just is, just being who she is. She's not apologetic if she couldn't find the English word to what she wants to convey. But there is a freshness surrounding her, an aura surrounding her, that you know that this is a very well educated, well versed na person, and well mannered. And I think that is one of the reasons why a lot of the pageant fans, pageant pages, kaming mga media, when we see her, ang gaan ng feeling na hindi namin kinakailangan na magpaka-intellectual when we talk to her, because we can talk about, I don't know, adobo with her without having to flinch. We can talk about her connection to the Filipino people, with her background, with with her Filipino camp in Germany, with her preference for chicken adobo that she ate yesterday upon arrival here in the Philippines. And mapag-uusapan namin sa kanya na, have you tried halo-halo? Have you tried balot? Those things. And I think the mere fact that even if she doesn't have any ounce or any drop of Filipino blood with her, she enjoys, the hospitality. And na iintindihan niya yung Filipino humor, because when asked kung ano yung first impression niya among Filipinos during the press meet earlier, she said that she always thought that Filipinos are happy and funny people. And I think that is something that makes, kahit na sino gagaan ng loob when you get that kind of compliment. And she's very, very much grateful to the designers who helped her throughout her journey. And she mentioned actually three designers that unfortunately I can only remember Ben Chilguia. Apologies to the other two designers that I forgot, that slipped my mind as of this moment. But the mere fact that she has connection with and she has this, I don't know, admiration with Filipino pageant culture, really makes us, happy with our experience with her. Then, I also was able to, as I mentioned earlier, na nakausap ko si Sir Stephen Diaz, and he debunked to us what is Miss International looking for. They are not necessarily looking for tall Barbie doll na looks, because those are things that are very much misconception with regards to the Miss International brand. He even explained to us that when Miriam Velasco, Miss International in 2018, mentioned that hindi siya confident na mananalo siya. That she's not confident that she's going to win. And this is because she mentioned that during the previous year, Diana Croce, who she says is a very gorgeous person, wasn't able to crack and win the Miss International crown. Plus the fact that Edimar Martinez won, in 2015. So it's going to be very difficult for her to win the title. But um, if you explain ni Sir Stephen na, if you look at the Venezuelan queens from the 1980s to now, there's no common thread in terms of their looks. Elizabeth Bosquera is dark skinned. Um, si Eddie Mar is actually a brunette with a very, very playful sense of personality. Mariam Velasco has a very, calm, collected na presence that you can feel about her. If you look at Consuelo Adler, who is arguably for me the most striking Miss International winner from Venezuela, has a very, very regal bearing to her. So, iba-iba yung mga winners ng Miss International from Venezuela. And if we look at our girls as well who've won Miss International, you look at Gemma Cruz, who is, I think, 5'11 or 6 feet in, at least 5'10 in height. You have Aurora Pijuan, who is um, uh, Filipino-American by blood, if I'm not mistaken. At ang layo ng mukha ni Gemma Cruz kay Aurora Pijuan, because Gemma Cruz has, very chinita, Filipino chinita na looks. And it made sense that if we look at Gemma Cruz, Aurora Pijuan, Melanie Marquez, sino po ba? Si Lara Kigaman, Bea Rose Santiago, and Kylie Versosa. In terms of looks, magkakaiba sila ng ganda. We have Morena winners in Lara Kigaman and what you call this Melanie Marquez. So it kind of parang Sir Stephen kind of explains that if countries keep sending us girls of the same mold, definitely if you have 60 candidates who fit a certain mold, at karamihan ng 60 candidates na yon are of that mold, then the probability of the winner that year coming from that same mold is high. So I think this is a conversation on diversity. That if we send them girls na well-behaved, well-mannered, of different na na tawag nito, of different na mga looks, then definitely we can diversify yung mga winners natin for Miss International. And the mere fact that he mentioned about the evaluation sheets and how these evaluation sheets would take on um, something that ranges from a candidate's rapport with her co-candidates in Miss International. If the candidate's attitude is something that they can work with. If tardiness is an issue with the candidate, these definitely are something that they write in their evaluation sheets of the ladies. So those are things na kinakailangan natin maintindihan, so that if we are going to select a winner for Miss International this year, we select someone that is of good moral and good personality and characteristics. Yung alam natin na karakter, yung character niya is maayos, and hindi yung magkakaroon tayo ng problema when it comes to professionalism, because essentially this organization is looking for someone na they can easily work with. So there. Let's pause muna, read some comments, and then we're going to talk about the girls that I am hoping to make semis. Girls that is so difficult to ignore because of their physicality to enter semis. And the girls that I am confident will easily make semis. So gumawa ako ng delineation there. Each of these lists, tig-aanim sila. Ayan, para if ever, pwede tayong humugot on different lists for the possible top 12. Okay? Nasa na ba tayo? Let's start with the comments back again, okay? So, Margin Bueno, feeling ko baka magdagdag yung crown. Miss Asia Pacific, Binibining Pilipinas Tourism, Miss Multinational, or Miss Aura. Ang Miss Aura kasalukuyan na. There is already a parang may mga candidates na ang Miss Aura International, Miss Aura Philippines, at meron na silang um, what do you call this? Meron na silang mga post on social media and Instagram. Uh, Margin Bueno, nawawala pa si Miss Asia Pacific, Miss Aura, Miss Multinational, at Miss Planet. Yes, I haven't heard of any developments on the international competition for the Miss Asia Pacific International na pageant. So, I am not very confident with that title. Brigito. Hello, Brigito. Thank you very much pala, Brigito, for always, being present in our comment section. Dinig ko, sabi ni Brigito, dinig ko, dadalo daw si Mayas Alcantara, yung um yung yung uh, yung partner ng Miss Globe. I haven't heard about that, Bragito. My God. Yung comment mo medyo medyo kinabahan ako paano ko ano yun, ipa-positive scripting yun. Ping, hello, good evening, Ping. Nasaan na ba tayo? The style. Uh, the styles. I hope they will surprise us with additional crowns. Baka pati Intercontinental since wala pa din naman confirmation from BBP. Fingers crossed. Shasha, rooting for Binibini 14 Albay, Jean Isabel de Lasano, Purong Pinay. Yes, she's on my list. EJ Belge, thanks for sharing that info, Jasmine. Wow, you're the first person I know who knows Palanan. I don't speak Haya Palanan. I can understand bits and pieces of the language. Sisi, musta kaya ang ticket sales ng Coronation? Sana mapuno ang Araneta. If please, please watch live yung Coronation. Tickets are up. It's currently available pa rin sa Ticketnet. If you want to buy, doon yata sa may Yellow Gate available yung mga tickets if you want to watch. Dansum, SNJHSM. Just wanted, like yung Puteri setup, like yung Binibining Pilipinas, then Binibini Turismo PH, then Binibini Kalikasan PH, then appoint na lang, pwede na lang, appoint na lang, pwede parang impossible. Hahaha. Oo nga, no? Puteri Lingkungan and Puteri I forgot the other one, but yes, it's tourism and environment yung and yung ibig sabihin ng mga titles na yun. But it's so difficult to have a binibining kalikasan because it literally means Miss Philippines Earth or Miss Philippines Nature. I'm not very sold on that. I would rather that Binibining Pilipinas would take on the Miss Philippines Earth franchise. Lemuel 23.5. Sir Jason, would you ever be surprised if ever BPCI announced that it's not just going to be a third but rather 2 additional crowns and wanted it to be surprise for the fans and the girls? Sure. I mean, 2 additional crowns, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be against that. Kasi sayang eh. There are a lot of quality girls in this batch, underrated but high quality because a lot of them are really accomplished in terms of their resume. Imaginein mo, one is a public servant. Binibining one, Jovel Bea is a public servant who works with the city government ng Quezon City. So she would be an asset if she manages to snatch one of the titles in Binibining Pilipinas this year. Tapos ang makuha niya is yung mga bagong titles. I mean, that would be a very welcome na development. Line spread. Possible ba na mag-host ng Philippines ang MI next year on E2 years? I've spoken again to Sir Stephen and talagang nilalakad ng wait, is it Bacolod or Cagayan de Oro? Oh my God, I suddenly am spacing out. Yung mayor oh my God, I forgot if it's Bacolod or Cagayan de Oro. I think it's Bacolod. Na matuloy yung Miss International sa tawag nito sa sa atin dito sa Pilipinas next year. I think that the Miss International organization are very much open and willing to have the Miss International pageant travel around. And I do hope that it does. That I do hope that maybe in the next couple of years, bukod sa Pilipinas, they also host it in Vietnam or in Thailand, especially with Thailand because alam naman natin the technical capabilities of Thai pageants to organize and produce very high quality glossy na pageants. So I am hoping for that. Um, where are we? I think it's 8 LGSPISBR. Hi, Jesod. I hope Mirhan wins international. I'm all for breaking stereotypes. I agree because I think naman si Mirhan would be able to follow through with the Lara Kigaman prototype na morena na very how to say this, out of the box na choice. Tandaan natin, Lara Kigaman broke the Dewi Sukarno na curse uh, na as long as Dewi Sukarno would sit as a judge, no Filipina would ever win Miss International. But Lara Kigaman just did that in 2005. Um, Nasaan tayo? Lord Lena, ang feed na may malalakas na malalaglag dahil sa mapanuring mata ng VCCI for confirmation. Sad to know. Um, Hello the universe. On the other hand, baka naman biglang one crown na lang bigla. Binibining Pilipinas in her court. Then, Miss Globe Philippines. Lord Lena, Jasmine is a Miss International prototype. Makikita mo sa kanya ang aura ni na Kylie at Liliana. Approachable, charming, eloquent, and royalty. Dansom, SNJHSM, nakakalungkot na mas marami pa yung host kesa sa kokoronahan. Joke. uh, um, Iyaino, kailan po sneak peek ng stage? Grabe ang exciting. I cannot say when, but definitely, ang sabi sa akin, maliwanag ang stage at bongga. Also, nabanggit ni Sir Hines, when we were having chika-chika on the way to NAIA Terminal 1, that abangan natin yung set of judges ng Binibining Pilipinas this year because they are looking at very formidable set of judges for the finals. Mr. Zukumofu, Uwanatics, sana soon makuha din ng BBC ang Miss Aura, Miss United Continents, and Miss Asia Pacific West. Dansom, SNJHSM, regular tickets, wala nang Gen Ad, mukhang may pumakyaw na. Yes, I heard that there is one candidate na was so engrossed with her, kababayans na isang bus yung dadalhin niya para manood ng Binibining Pilipinas final. So, I do hope na as soon as there is an available ticket in the section that you want, book it, buy it because pakyawan ang mga binibini this year and with all of these pakyawan ng mga tickets from the Binibining Pilipinas candidates and their supporters, baka ikaw na regular fan ang maubusan ng ticket. Philippine Eagle, in your opinion, what are the chances of Binibini 33 Davao del Sur? Sandali lang. Sino ba si Davao del Sur? Let me check. Again, as I said, I am very much terrible with their numbers. Tell me her name, wala tayong problema. Madali kong matandaan yan. But if you just give me numbers, kinda no, 33 ba si Katrina? No, I think Katrina is 36 eh. Wait, let me double check if it's Katrina nga. Um, Siyempre, ang bagal ng internet natin dito sa Pilipinas, di ba? Ang tagal mag-load ng mga ano, ng mga pages. Okay, si Chiles daw ang candidate number 37. So, Katrina Johnson is 36. So, if it's Katrina Johnson, she's on my list. She's actually on my girls I want to make semis na list. Because, i-explain ko sa inyo mamaya kung bakit. Nasaan na ba tayo? Tapos na tayo kay Philippine Eagle. We're now kay JB. Sana next year kung 2 or 3 ang titles nila, siguro pwede na mga 25 to 30 candidates kasi sobrang dami pa pag nag-40 sila tulad ngayong taon. There was actually they really intended na na 35 ang candidates this year. However, I think it was the right call na maging 40 kasi yung 5 na dadagdag, that's including that's including Katrina Johnson, Lia Estores, Rima Adaco din. Ay, tama ba? Kasama ba si Lia dun sa 5 na dagdag? I think it's Jesselyn Salvador and I can't remember the last two, but definitely very bigatin yung yung what do you call this, very bigatin yung mga nadagdag dun sa top dun sa original 35 candidates. Nasa na tayo? Shasha 33, Katrina Johnson ata. I still my laptop is still loading, kaya good luck na lang sa numbers. So sa numberings nila, siguro mas madali pa kung i-Wikipedia. Wikipedia ko na lang 'yun dahil text lang ang um where are we now? 33 is Katrina Johnson, correct. 36 is Mary Childs Balana. Ayun. Ang bagal mag-load ng website ng Binibining Pilipinas. But maybe that's because, I am using the Wi-Fi for our live stream. Dansam SNJHSM nagbigay ng flare yung 5. Yes, agree. Yung 5 na dagdag. Especially with I think kasama si Candy Bollinger, si Doktora Sandy Bollinger, si Katrina Johnson, hindi si Cese. Si Katrina Johnson, si Jesselyn Salvador, Alia Estores, and now the one more na nakalimutan ko. Okay. Dansom, I think si Yesley pasok sa 35 eh. I think pasok sa 35 si Yesley. But anyway, I'm sorry kung whoever that fifth girl is. Pero let's start na yung ating listahan kasi mag-iisang oras na tayo nagchichikahan. It's already 53 minutes into our live stream and dapat karirin na natin yung mga nasa listahan. Okay. Ayan. So there. Let's start first with the girls that I want to make semis. Ito yung mga listahan ko ng 5 girls that I desperately want na makapasok sa top 12 or top 10 ng Binibining Pilipinas this year, and I have 5 girls on my list. First on that list, on this list, is Julia May Mendoza. Julia, kapag tinignan mo siya, mas gumaganda habang tumatagal. From the moment that she was named as an official candidate in February until now, isa siya doon sa mga candidates that really had a vast improvement in terms of her styling, in terms of the way that she delivers her photos, the way that she projects, the way that she communicates. And we were able to communicate with with Julia on one of the Binibining Pilipinas events, and she really presents herself as someone that you would want to become your best friend. She is very amiable, she's very friendly, she's easy to talk to. Hindi siya yung tipong mahirap kausapin because she's, very amiable. I think that's one of the reasons why she is a favorite among the press, because she talks like your longtime friends already. I remember when I was I was on the way going to Limgas na Pangasinan, and our meet up place is the KF training center in Quezon City. And si Julia, she was just finished her training. She's going back home. Hindi siya natatakot na mag-angkas. And she is really very easy to talk to. Sa tulad sinabi ko. At hindi niya ako natandaan na na-meet niya ako doon doon sa training, after ng training niya sa KF. But sabi ng mga kasamahan ko sa akin that um hindi hirap daw, hindi naman hirap, but she she's intimidated by me daw. And sabi ko sa kanya when I talked to her na I am quiet during coverages because I am observing the girls, and it's not because I am judging the girls, but I am there observing how they interact, so that I would know how to approach them later on. And thankfully, madali yung rapport with Julia, because she really has a very pleasant personality. Hindi siya hindi siya yung napapabalitaan natin na mga binibinan na may attitude. She really is very grounded, easy to easy to converse with, hindi mahirap na kagaanan ng loob si Julia. And the first time actually that we had met Julia, I don't know if she remembers this, but we were covering for Century Tuna Super Buds Challenge last year. She made top 8 if I'm not mistaken in that competition, and doon sa Super Buds niya na experience, I already thought that if she joins Binibining Pilipinas, she would be a formidable candidate. Formidable because she has that personality, she has that very easy to talk to, easy to talk with, easy to madaling kagaanan ng loob na personality, and hindi siya mahirap katrabaho. I think that's one of the reasons why she's in our list. Of course, number 2 on my list of the girls that I desperately want to make semis is actually Katrina Ann Johnson, because whenever we see her, whether or not it's in an event, it's in after Binibining Pilipinas activity, backstage, ganyan, she's always smiling, she's always offering a pleasant day to everyone. I think she is easily the Nicole Borromeo of this batch, kasi kapag nakikita mo si Nicole Borromeo is always happy. And that is the same feedback that we got from the Araneta City marketing people, as well as Binibining Pilipinas people, that with Nicole Borromeo, you get a very happy, always smiling na kind of binibini. And if you want a candidate for Miss International, then we should all be looking at Nicole Borromeo, and that is the same vibes that I get with Katrina Johnson. That she's always smiling, that she's not difficult to deal with, because she's always always in a positive sort of mood and positive aura surrounding her. And it doesn't also hurt that she's one of the best communicators of her batch. Then on my list, number 3 on my list is Dr. Sandy Vollinger. Although it is spelled Candy, Candy, it's actually pronounced as Sandy. Um, Doctora Vollinger. Doctora Sandy Vollinger is actually one of the girls that we are immediately impressed with her resume. She is a practicing medical doctor. She represented the Philippines in a cancer research in Saitama, Japan. And this is something that you would not necessarily want to immediately let go in a field of women who are very much accomplished to make semis. I think Sandy is one of those girls that are underrated. I remember there was a rumor that there was a uh, binibining candidate who during their Dasol trip convinced the crew that pagpahingain muna yung mga girls after being after nilang bilad sa araw sa Dasol because it's not healthy for them to be dehydrated, to be exposed to the harsh rays of the sun, especially in Pangasinan, where Pangasinan is one of the hottest places in the Philippines, especially in Luzon. So the mere fact that it's a doctor daw who mentioned that to the cast and to the crew of the production na it's not healthy for the girls to be exposed to the sun for such a long time. Nakinig yung crew at pinagpahinga sila. So I think that's Dr. Sandy if the rumor if my deductions are correct. And then I also have okay, we're back. Um, Nasaan na ba to? Okay, we were talking about Zoe. Zoe is not the kind of girl that you would want na na ma-ignore sa Binibining Pilipinas because one thing that I really am impressed with her is that despite her having PCOS, that yung sakit na PCOS kasi ang isa sa mga side effects niya sa katawan is that you balloon and uh, a lot of people are not very much informed doon sa side effect ng PCOS and the PCOS medication. So people would only think that ay medyo may kalakihan siya. Zoe is actually 5'8", approaching 5'9" in height. She measures 36, 25, 38, and yes, she does look malaman in on stage, but that is because of PCOS. And the mere fact that a lot of people judge her for that, is very superficial in my point of view because I think that there should be a conversation where we should allow women who have these kinds of medical ailments to be able to speak about their bodies in the context of pageantry because if you remove yung element na yon from her meron pang pwedeng talking points si Zoe because Zoe um, is also a international law student and she's not actually taking up law here in the Philippines but she's taking it in the Carolina University in if I'm not mistaken in Sweden. The mere fact that she can speak four languages, Hebrew, she's learning Hebrew as of the moment. She can speak Norwegian, Swedish, of course English, and now trying to learn Hebrew. It says something about the fact that this is a well-rounded girl. Zoe is a very headstrong na girl and siguro hindi lahat ng mga tao ma-appreciate yun because she says it the way that she sees it. So there is a certain level of honesty that you get from her. She wouldn't she would not lie to you because she's just honest with her opinions and I think that we need someone who is a very headstrong, someone who's opinionated at times because um, in the era where being politically correct has been exalted medyo kinakailangan natin kung minsan na magkaroon ng person who would tell us this is actually how it is without having to sugarcoat it for anyone. And I think Zoe can say that, can be that. And kapag pakinggan mo yung timbre ng boses ni Zoe, she's really actually, she has a low tone na voice, but at the same time, it registers as a sultry bedroom voice. So, there. Fifth on my list, last on my list, on the girls that I desperately want to make semis is Rima Adacoden of Kamsur. Rima, alam na natin, may mga issue ang ilang tao with her skin tone. I don't have that issue with her because I think she looks gorgeous dun sa skin tone niya. Rima, I think for me, in this batch, based on what I've seen so far dun sa batch na to, siya yung namumukod tanging nag stand out sa linya because of her skin color. She has really very dark golden skin tone, and she really, she also really reminds me of Valentina Patruno. I recently, I mentioned or I posted on social media that if a dark-skinned Lebanese woman by the name of Christina Sawaya is able to win Miss International, then why couldn't we be open to having someone like Rima win Binibining Pilipinas International and compete, uh, internationally. So that's the first five girls. Now, the next set of six girls. So, anim na yung susunod na babanggitin ko are the girls that it's so difficult to ignore um, because they deserve to make semis. So, first on that list is I have Aliyah Torres, one of the girls na nadagdag doon sa original top 35 na candidates. And actually, Aliyah joined last year. Binibining Pilipinas 2022. Unfortunately, hindi siya natanggap doon sa official na 40 candidates. And then this year, she also was cut from the top 35. Tapos, pasalamat na lang tayo, dinagdag yung additional 5 girls so that mabuo yung 40 candidates natin this year. And I really am very happy that isa siya sa mga natawag ng mga girls because if you look at Aliyah Torres, she really has that Binibining Pilipinas face na you've seen in the likes of what's her name? Jeanette Fernando, Binibining Pilipinas Tourism in the 90s. Sheila May Santarin, who is Binibining Pilipinas International during the batch ni na Dindi Gallardo and Rufa Gutierrez. She also looks like Miss International Bea Rose Santiago based on her latest na swimsuit na photo. So, isipin mo na lang, yung ganung klaseng mukha, very universal, very winnable yung kanyang mukha. She's also quite tall at 5'8" or 5'9" if I'm not mistaken. I think 5'8". And then, ang ganda din ng katawan niya. So, she has, she has the physical goods to make sense. And then, I also have on my list, Binibining Pilipinas candidate, Yesley Cabanos, who is a Morena goddess for me. In fact, pag nakapikit ako, ini-imagine ko ano yung magandang national costume for Yesley if she gets to compete in Miss Globe or Miss International. Ang unang pumapasok ko sa kanya is si Mayari, the goddess of the moon. Mayari is like the goddess of the moon, of beauty, of warfare, because when tawag ito when nagkaroon ng if my memory serves me right with the Filipino mythology, Mayari and the god of the sun are actually twins na anak ni Bathala. And then Mayari has other sisters, si Tala, which is the goddess of the stars, and Hanan, the goddess of the morning, or the goddess of the breaking of the dawn. Itong si ang kwento was that itong si Mayari and the God of the Sun, which I forgot the names. Parang nag-away sila kung sino yung magiging tawag nito, magiging next na tagapagmana if ever Bathala passes on. So parang nagkaroon ng physical altercation, si Mayari and yung the God of the Sun, and the God of yung physical prowess nila is halos pantay. However, because the God of the Sun is masculine, mas physically, mas ano siya, mas syempre may advantage siya. And he struck, Mayari in one of her eyes. Kaya nawalan daw siya ng half ng kinang niya when it comes after the fight. Kaya yung glow ng moon is much more cool, much more calm as compared to the sun because of Mayari having lost one of her eyes. So, I think that was the kwento. And whenever I see Leslie, I am thinking that this is a girl na mukhang Pinay na Diyosa. And she has this really very morena, beautiful morena skin, beautiful morena features. She can communicate well being a flight attendant. And ang kwenta sa akin is she would joke around and become the tawag dito, parang the flight stewardess in their buses kapag they go around for their Binibining Pilipinas activities. And then I also have Sofia Galvez in my list. This Miss Philippines Earth Tourism, tama ba? Or Miss Philippines Earth Ecotourism, is one of the girls na very self-assured, being the CEO of Mirror Studios and Tagpuan Eco Park Corporation. She's a UP graduate, and dito mo makikita why she really has this aura of command and presence. Kaya hindi mo maaalis na tumingin sa kanya because she really knows how to command attention. And I think Sofia Galvez, if given a spot at the semis, can change the tide for the results of the Binibining Pilipinas finals. Then, hindi rin mawawala sa listahan ko si Angelica Lopez ng Palawan. I think Angelica Lopez is one of the girls na Diyosa tignan, ang liit ng mukha niya, pero ang haba ng mga bias niya. Physically, I think she reminds me of Janisel Lubina, who has a very small face. I think though that Angelica would be much better styled kapag long straight hair yung gagamitin niya for her finals. Because I think the big massive na curly hair is just not the right styling for her. Maybe that's just me and my personal opinion, but I think she looks much better in straight hair because noong in-interview ko si Mirhan, kasama sa mga naghintay for me was Angelica, and I saw Angelica na ang liit ng face niya in um, ang liit ng face niya tapos ang ganda niya talaga with less makeup on. And nakalugay siya tapos straight hair yung kanyang styling, and I really think na that was her best look so far. At number 5 of my list ng mga it's so hard to ignore kind of girls in the semis is Paulina Labayo. I think she's Binibini 4. Tama ba? Kasi if you look at the um, first set of candidates from 1 to 10, ang tingin kong super formidable are the girls na nasa 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that's Paulina Labayo, Gianna Llanes, Alia Estores, oh my god, Angelica Lopez, Alia Estores, and then Mirhan Hipolito. Yung physicality nung karamihan ng mga girls doon sa listahan na yon, it's so difficult to na hindi mo pansinin kasi ang hahaba nilang tignan, ang tatangkad nila, their body and bone structure is really very proportionate ang labas nila at yung kanilang mga legs it's like they go on for miles. So Polina Labayo, also being a ballet teacher, has great moves on stage, very controlled yung kanyang presentation at hindi messy tignan. Um, the last girl on my list, for the girls that's hard to ignore in the semis, is the Binibini from Bataan, Ana Valencia Lafrini. I know that pag tinignan mo siya, it's a love her or pass na moment. Um, if I am going to be very, very brutally honest with you, Ana for me is hilaw. But I cannot deny that she's going to be a strong competitor in Binibining Pilipinas. Okay, i-explain ko bakit sa tingin ko hilaw si Ana. Because whenever I look at Ana, it feels like she doesn't know the Filipino culture very much. That kinakailangan i-feed mo sa kanya kung anong sasabihin niya when it comes to, you know, the the culture of the Filipino people and how to behave, how to get along with, Filipinos from different walks of life, about our food, about our language, about tawag ito, about um, being a Filipino in general. Parang feeling ko very skin deep lang yung alam niya with our culture. And that is the only reason why I'm not I'm not fully sold with her. On the physical side though, height is might. At 5'10", Anna has a very much improved na physicality ngayon. Mas payat siya tignan, hindi siya mukhang malapad as compared to last year. She looks tall because of her body proportions, na she has long limbs, she has long legs. But again, I feel that hindi pa ngayon yung tamang oras niya. And marami pa siyang kinakailangang ayusin doon sa paano siya makitungo sa tao, paano siya makitungo sa mga kapwa niya kandidata, paano siya makitungo sa mga tao sa media, paano siya makitungo sa mga tao na mas mababa ang pwesto kaysa sa kanya. So I think that in terms of preparedness, she's still far off from the ideal um, na na masasabi mo with full confidence, this is a girl that is crown her now kasi siya, winnable siya. I think she's still quite far from that. Now, doon naman sa girls that I know, I have full confidence who will make semis. There are 6 girls in that list. And magtataka kayo, sir, bakit sila? And the reason why I have this list is because these girls for me are the girls na strong ang background, hindi hindi naman palya sa press presentation, sa national costume show, sa evening gown preliminaries. And at the same time, these girls are very very, I don't say if it's queen, I don't want to say queenly because may certain idea na tayo kung ano ibig sabihin ng queenly eh. But rather these girls have that um, winnable na aura in them na I think maa-appreciate ng mga tao. And when I say mga tao, I mean people here in the Philippines and abroad. Now, first on my list is definitely John Isabel Villasano. I'm convinced that she is an easy top 10, top 12, there is a reserved spot for her because she communicates well. She is very well accomplished at age 25. being a professional na speech pathologist and the only speech pathologist in her province, tells me that this girl, is a very well accomplished girl, even if you remove pageantry from the equation. And if you look at Isabel, I think she's around 5'8". Ang haba din niyang tignan. She has really long legs, and I think that is tawag ito, one of the reasons na nagustuhan namin siya on the physical side because ang haba niyang tignan, um, long na mermaid hair na kulot-kulot would really look good on her like she did in the preliminaries ng evening gown and swimsuit na press presentation. She really stood out with that kind of hair. Um, Another girl on my list is Kiara Gel Gregorio, who is arguably, you know, very much well composed. Nakita nyo naman during the Binibining Pilipinas na press presentation kung paano siya magsalita. Yung pacing, that the way that she talks about who she is, where she's from, what are her accomplishments, what are the things that she wants to bring into the table if she wins Miss Binibining Pilipinas. This is a very well placed, well calculated na presentation. On the physical side, she's 5'7". So ibig sabihin, kinakailangan niyang emphasis on the waist to make her legs look longer sa styling niya. She still needs to make some tweaks on her styling doon, especially dun sa hairstyle niya, kasi kung minsan yung kanyang hair choices falls flat. And I think yun lang yung area na needs to be tweaked for Kiara. And the third girl on my list is si Gianna Lianes. I mean, she's a sportscaster, she's a fitness instructor, and then she's a radio DJ, tapos tawag ito, writer pa siya. So I think wala kang masisiliping butas kay Gianna. The mere fact also that a lot of the girls na crossover from Miss Philippines Earth to Binibining Pilipinas are really making their mark in Binibining Pilipinas competition this year tells us that only the strong girls move from MPE to Binibining Pilipinas. And this is also evidenced by Iana Aduana, who competed, I believe, in Miss Philippines Earth in 2021, competed in Binibining Pilipinas at 2022, and then moved back to MPE and winning Miss Philippines Earth 2023. So I'm expecting, the same level of performance from Gianna, and yung styling niya during the preliminaries and the swimsuit presentation, I think ikahon niya yon, especially yung look niya for her evening gown. I think she will that's her best styling for me. Then pang ilan na ito? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4 sa listahan ko is si Mirhan Hipolito. I cannot ignore this girl. May arrive siya. Ang arrive action niya actually is very Miss Universe yung dating ng arrive niya, and I'm really very much rooting for this girl na makapasok ng semis this year, dahil sa tingin ko siya yung morena na pwedeng isunod natin kay Lara Kigaman in terms of a possible participation in Miss International. I still think that yung kanyang pasarela needs work. But in terms of her communication skills, in terms of her intellect, in terms of her facial beauty, wala kang pwedeng mahingi pa kay Mirhan because she's give na give siya. Number 5 on my list is Atasha Rain Parani, who is sandali lang, ang notes ko kasi dito medyo magulo. But what really stood out for me was when she talked about okay, sorry again, internet connection is terrible. As I was saying about Atasha Rain Parani, yung binanggit niya about service with intention really rings to me, kasi yun naman talaga yung point ng pagiging beauty queen. It's actually to be of service. And competing at an international stage and winning the crown, that should be something that is secondary in terms of reason kung bakit gusto mong manalo ng Binibining Pilipinas, because a victory is never guaranteed, and it's what you do with the title, what you do with the crown, that would make you be remembered. I think that her being a host actress in ABS-CBN before, and now she's a student, she's a working student. I think that Atasha, marami pang pwedeng i-improve, but in terms of possibility na makapasok, ako, malakas yung kutob ko na may naka-reservang spot sa kanya sa semis. And then finally, the last girl on my list of girls that I know will make uh, top 10 or top 12 this year is Jovel Cyrene Bea, Binibining Pilipinas candidate number one. And why do I feel that? Because over the past several years, I think from the time ni Catriona, parang never pumalya na pumasok ang Binibini One sa semis. So, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that with Juvel having a very interesting background, she works as a public servant under the uh, under the Quezon City government. I think marami kang pwedeng mapiga from uh, from Jovel as a public servant that she can bring into Binibining Pilipinas. And um, kita din naman natin that nag-perform siya during the preliminaries. So, whether or not na she is on your list, or whether or not she's popular sa mga fans, I think na na swak siya sa semis. Full look at yung mga past na mga Binibining Pilipinas na na na, na semi-finalist. Last year Binibini won si Stacy Gabriel, and she made second runner up. The year prior, I think Binibini one is Samantha Panlilio. And then several years back, nung panahon ni Catriona, first runner up niya si Vicky Rushton, was also Binibining Pilipinas one. So I mean, it only goes to show that, hindi ka naman ilalagay as Binibining Pilipinas candidate number one kung hindi ka malakas na candidate. So, I think Juvel is a safe bet to make semis this year. Ayan. Nabanggit ko na yung mga girls na tingin ko easy picks for tawag ito, for uh, the semis this year. Pero alam ko sa comments may magko-comment, "Sir, may nakalimutan ka." And don't worry, hindi ko nakalimutan si Trisha Martinez. Trisha Martinez is one of those girls na hindi ko alam kung saan ko ilalagay sa listahan ko, honestly. Because Trisha Martinez, physically for me, is one of the most beautiful ladies in the competition this year. Whether it's during the press presentation or during the previews na mga Binibining Pilipinas activities nila, ng yung fashion show sa Farmers, or yung um, tawag ito, yung reveal na kanilang mga glam shots. Trisha Martinez is one of the faces na hindi mo pwedeng i-ignore in the competition. However, on the physical side, medyo lumaki si Trisha, and it showed during the press presentation na she really needs to work on her fitness. The good thing about this is that ang katawan pwedeng i-tone, pwedeng uh, tawag ito, pwedeng i-work on. Ang tawag ito, nakaka-doubt lang sa akin with Trisha Martinez is her performance. Kasi pwede ka naman na curvy yung katawan mo, but sabayan mo with a very strong performance, especially in the swimsuits. That is where I am a little bit worried because on the pasarela side, uh, medyo kinapos si Trisha. I just hope that her performance was strong enough to make her in the semis. Trisha for me, kung siya ang manalo ng Binibining Pilipinas International this year, she has a year to prepare much like Nicole Borromeo. And I think that's a advantage because you can crown on potential as long as at the end of her preparations for Miss International next year, that girl proves that hindi wasted sa kanya yung opportunity na sumabak internationally. So there. I think now we're ready to read the comments before we end our live stream discussion. Okay? Um, Nasaan na tayo? I think it's here with JB. Sabi niya, paano next year? May Binibining Pilipinas 25 na agad kasi si Nicole for 2023 tapos yung makukoronahan for 2024. Yes. That's the idea. JB, if you're not familiar with how Miss Venezuela and a lot of Latin American countries send their representatives. That is much similar with our system. In fact, nauna nga silang ganun ang sistema nila because if I'm not mistaken, even in the 80s or it was in the 90s na nagbago na ang ginawa um, ng Miss Venezuela organization, for example, is that the girl who is crowned this year competes in Miss Universe next year. The girl who wins Miss Venezuela International is competing the year after. So, hindi to bago. Um, Nasaan na ba tayo? Adame Orito, Sir Jason, good evening po. Totoo ba talaga na may attitude si Binibining something-something? Ah, Bahala na kayong magbasa ng aking patsaa kung maniwala kayo o hindi. It's up to you. Um, Lord Lena, slow-mo talaga ang net today. I'm sorry about that. Talagang wala tayong magagawa. Umulan, mainit ang panahon, um, ganun talaga ang internet dito sa Pilipinas. I am hoping that, in the next 5 years, mag-improve naman ang internet ng Pilipinas to the point na kahit man lang sumabay siya sa internet ng Korea. Pero laking ano naman, di ba? Laking suntok sa banon. Um, Josue Mendoza, Berakit, Apolaki is the sun deity in Philippine mythology. Yes, thank you for reminding us that. So yes, magkakapatid sina Apolaki and magkapatid si Apolaki and si Mayari. Um, Hello the Universe says, baka need ilagay sa rules ng current queens nila na iwasan ang ma-associate sa other pageants. Di nakakatulong sa girls na lumalaban sa current queen nila ay vocal to join again in other pageants. I agree. I really agree with that. Na sana may ano sila, or rather sana may delikadesa sila na wag naman ganun. Uh, Wag masyadong user, kumbaga, di ba? Um, Sana ba to? Hello the universe. Pag nilagay ka sa number 1, may 50% chance ka na agad pumasok. Mukhang may standard BPCI for the number 1. Kinda agree. Actually, habang tinitingnan ko yung mga candidates this year, sabi ko, Jovel is an interesting binibini number 1. Tapos habang tumatagal, nakikita ko yung mga pasabog niya on social media na parang, uhaw si girl. Gusto din niyang manalo and palaban. And I saw that during the uh, press presentation na talagang laban na laban si Juvel. I mean, the way that she spoke about herself, her background, I was impressed. And from then on out, hindi na nawala sa listahan ko si Juvel. And to think that as I was looking back at the girls na who impressed me in their press presentation introduction, I think na nabanggit ko sa live ito na Juvel is on my list for her background, and for the way that she deliberately spoke with confidence and with proper enunciation of her words. Hindi siya nautal. hindi siya nagmamadaling magsalita, very clear and crisp yung kanyang delivery ng kanyang message. I thought that, okay, bantayan natin si Juvel kasi I think she's going to make a killing in Binibining Pilipinas later on. Um, okay, where are we na? I think it's the beauty critique. Hi, Jason. Binibining Pilipinas remains the country's most captivating and most prestigious pageant, bar none. I saw the parade and they had the crowd and support. Gratitude for the great discussion. Thank you, the beauty critique. When I am covering Binibining Pilipinas, I always feel that I am a part of the Binibining Pilipinas organization. Dahil we are treated and alaga kami. We are treated very well. We are treated, with respect. Wala kaming naririnig na mga side comments from, the from a communications personnel saying na mukha kaming dugyot o mukha kaming madungis. Because when you are covering pageants, especially it's an outdoor na event kung minsan, syempre pawisan ka din. Syempre mangangamoy ka din dahil pinagpawisan ka. Tapos, for someone na may katungkulan sa isang organization, nasabihan kang ganon, parang nakaka-turn off. And we never experience that in Binibining Pilipinas. We are always treated with respect, with humanity, that we feel that we are part of the organization because we are an extension of the organization per se. So, that is the reason why sa tingin ko, ang hirap pantayan ng standards ng Binibining Pilipinas because they really treat, not only the media, but the girls very well. So there. Um, where are we? I think nawala na ako. Sorry about that. Let me just backtrack. Okay. Last two comments. I think it's from Dorothy V. Jones and Lord Lena. Dorothy says, the challenge for Binibini is to correctly place the right candidates in the right pageants. Miss Globe is aspiring for greater recognition while Miss International is carefully updating itself. And I kinda agree, especially with Miss International, who is now lifting itself up ng paunti-unti. They're not at a hurry, but they are doing well in terms of their reputation, in terms of the way that they make sure that the candidates really experience what the host country has to offer. And I think that's the reason why Miss International is one of the competitions where the girls enjoy, their experience in the pageant. And I think, I think it also it's also it's also the culture, the Asian culture where we are very respectful, especially with the Japanese. They are very respectful with the candidates, with their candidates, and hindi siya nalalayo sa kultura natin dito sa Pilipinas, who are very hospitable. um, Last comment na nandito is with Lord Lena. What do you think is the chance of Binibini 36, Mary Charles Balana? Makapasok kaya siya sa semis or kumorola like Cindy Cobinita, Miss Intercontinental 2021? I think Childs is one of the underdogs. Childs with Charmaine Magdasok, with oh my God, si Lyra Ponsalan and Diana Leong. There are some of the girls na hindi natin masyado pinag-uusapan, um, pero pwedeng mambulaga. Also on that list ng mga underdogs is Leia Macapagal and uh, what's her name again? Leia Macapagal and April Angelo Barro and Zea Nestle Pala. Ayan. So, isipin mo, nagbigay na ako ng, ano ba ito? 17 na names. Tama ba? Oo, 17 na names. Tapos, meron pa akong pwedeng idagdag na 8 in terms of, mga underdogs ng pageant. Ng Binibini this year. I think, luhaan talaga yung top 12 lang. Pero, mas masakit yung top 10 lang ang pipiliin. So, I am grateful kung maging top 12 na siya. Pero mas masaya siguro ako kung top 15 kasi ang daming masasayang ng mga girls. Um, Nasaan na ba tayo? Um, Uy, Dorothy V. Jones, kaloka ka. Yes, that's the, sabi niya, yes, that's how the old rich treat people. They appreciate what you can bring to the table instead of merely checking on your outfit. Kaloka ka talaga, Dorothy. Pero yeah, I kind of agree. And there is certain, politeness and decorum. Definitely that word decorum. That is expected on social, on social interactions. Um, APEDL, APE Legaspi SBR. How about Lyra Punsalan, sir? I think Lyra is one of the girls na I would put on the underrated na listahan. Lord Lena, 25 nga siguro ang first cut, Sir Jason. Okay lang sa akin na mag-top 25 sila tapos sa kanila kahit na from top 25 biglang top 10 na lang. Okay na sa akin 'yun kasi tingin ko hindi masakit yung top 25. Um, Dorothy V. Jones, sabi niya, one wish for Binibina is it comes up with a crown or title for a candidate with a worthy advocacy. So, with regards to that, may nakausap kami from within the within the organization na tawag ito na sinabi niya na yung mga queens, yung mga crown queens, very active sa kanilang mga social na mga advocacies, sa kanilang mga social causes, including Stacey Gabriel na kahit hindi sila mag-post about it, alam nilang meron at hindi drawing lang. Um, Nasaan na ba tayo? EF Chicago. I really wanted Mirhan to win. She is engaging. You won't get tired looking at her. I agree. Sana nga lang talaga maano ma-polish pa yung yung lakad niya kasi yung lakad niya kailangan pa ng kailangan pa ng I think her walk still needs a little bit more power in it. A little bit more stage command. Yon. Um, Nasa na ba tayo? Uh, Sabi ni Dorothy V. Jones, I really wish that Anna Lacrini to have won last year. This year, I'm very iffy about her chances. Okay, so I think that's all the comments that we have for this live stream. Thank you very much for staying with me despite issues with the connectivity. Again, I think baka uulan ngayon kasi may super typhoon po tayong parating. I do hope that everyone here in the Philippines to take care of yourselves, be prepared for the upcoming typhoon, stock up on groceries, stock up on food and necessities and first aid kits and etc. Please make sure na sana sana you communicate with your friends, with your family, with your communities on making it safe for everyone. Ngayong paparating na yung super typhoon. So I do hope that everyone would really be on the safe side. Okay? Mga huling pahabol na comments before we end our live stream. Hello the Universe is saying na I'm quite leaning towards medyo may age or mature na para hindi sasali uli sa iba. LOL. Maturity yung hinahanap ko sa new pin sana. Medyo dito kulang yung current because of age. I think that Nicole having a very sprightly, happy na disposition would not be a detriment to her. I think that Nicole, looking at her beside Jasmine Selberg, masasabi ko na may laban si Nicole. And this is an observation that a number of media people share. So Brown Dude says, Aloha, I just tuned in. I'm wondering why Nicole Bodel doesn't participate in any photo shoots with other winners from last year. Brown Dude, from what I know, and this is confirmed as well by Sir Kines, that they do send invitation for Nicole Budol to join Binibining Pilipinas activities. Now, as for the reason why she's not appearing, I think that is something that only Herlene can answer. So, there. Um, well, guys, almost 2 hours na tayo. It's actually an hour and 45 minutes na, and I do hope na nag-enjoy kayo dito sa ating pa-live stream. And please, for those who are still with us in this live stream, please hit the thumbs up na button, dun sa like na button, so that after the live stream ends, more people will be able to see and watch our discussion. It has been a very pleasant and very entertaining and very happy experience to do this live stream with you. um, Sorry again, naputo na naman ang internet natin. So I'm very happy, to have this chat with you, and I do hope na if you have the opportunity and the means to watch the finals on May 28 ng Binibining Pilipinas, watch it live kasi kasi pinatikim kami ng Binibining Pilipinas ng reasons why we should watch the finals. Okay, so thank you very much for everyone. I hope to see you again in our next live stream. Hopefully our next live stream would be after the finals. Ayan, EF Chicago, thank you as well for joining us today, and looking forward for the finals as well. Ayan, thank you very much, guys, and have a great evening for everyone here in the Philippines, and for everyone abroad. Have a great day wherever you are. Bye, everyone, and take care.